All right, let's dive in. Hi, everybody, and thank you so much for taking time this afternoon to join us for this informational webinar. My name is Emily Body, and I am the Director of Development at Campus Compact and the manager of the Safe Elections Project. I'm thrilled to chat with you today. I am joined this afternoon by our fantastic intern, Lauren, who is going to be helping us with the Q&A portion of today. So she's going to introduce herself in the chat, and I definitely encourage you to ask questions, engage in the Q&A, and we'll leave plenty of time at the end to answer any questions that you have. We are recording today's webinar, and you are all muted and your cameras are turned off. So if you do have thoughts or questions, please pop them in that chat so that we're able to get to them at the end. And with those housekeeping announcements, let's go ahead and dive in. So today we're going to answer some questions about the Campus Compact Safe Elections Project. First and foremost, we're going to introduce ourselves. Who is Campus Compact and why are we talking about this? We're then going to explain what poll workers are, what they do, and why we need to recruit them this year. We're going to talk about our partnership with Power the Polls. It's a fantastic new tool and initiative, so we're going to dive a little bit into our partnership there. And then we're going to get into the good stuff. We are going to talk about our student recruiters, what this position looks like, what it has to do with our democracy, and who's eligible. What does it take to be a student recruiter with the Campus Compact Safe Elections Project? We'll end it with talking about next steps and leaving plenty of time for Q&A. So with that, let's dive into the questions. So like I said, we'll start by introducing ourselves. Who is Campus Compact? We are a nonprofit national coalition of about 1,000 colleges and universities who are committed to what we call the public purposes of higher education. We challenge all of higher ed to make civic and community engagement an institutional priority. We've been around for more than 30 years and have really led the way in campus community partnerships, service learning, and many of you on the call today are probably familiar with our work, if not our name. Speaking of which, we probably have a lot of people on today's webinar who are students, faculty, or staff at some of our member institutions. And if that's you, hello, thank you for being a part of our incredible network and for being here this afternoon. I know that we also have some Campus Compact staff, some of my colleagues who are tuning in this afternoon to learn more. So hello and thank you to everyone. One of the critical ways that Campus Compact is helping institutions to uphold their responsibility to develop student citizenship skills and serve their communities is through election engagement. And that encapsulates a lot of things, including student voting and poll worker recruitment. So the Campus Compact Safe Elections Project is just one way that we're helping our members mobilize their students for the public good. And we're really excited to launch and share it with you today. But taking a step back, I want to make sure that we're all on the same page about some important language that we're going to be using throughout the course of this project. And the first thing I want to be clear about is poll workers. What are poll workers and what do they do? So poll workers are also often referred to as election judges, election workers, clerks, or officers. These terms are all pretty much the same thing. For our purposes in this project, we mostly use the term poll workers. And poll workers are dedicated citizens who support our election processes. They do all sorts of roles, which we'll get into in a minute here, like tabulation, site setup, machine operation, and more. And poll workers are absolutely essential to ensuring that our elections run smoothly and that every single voter has a good voting experience and that their voices are heard. So I want to go through some of the tasks and responsibilities to explain what poll workers do so that we all understand how important they are for our democracy. Some of the primary responsibilities of poll workers include setting up our polling places and answering voter questions, checking voters in and distributing ballots. All of this is on election day. Helping elderly and disabled citizens vote, providing that additional support that some of our friends and neighbors require. Poll workers also update voter registration information, and in states that allow for same-day registration, they actually register people to vote so that they can cast their ballot. They maintain a safe and orderly polling place. This is going to be more important this year than ever with the additional safety and sanitation processes that will have to be put in place. Very importantly, they pass out those fantastic "I voted" stickers. We know that is a huge driving factor for many of us to get to the polls, so we need those stickers. They also break down polling locations at the end of the day and ensure that ballots make it safely to be counted. So looking at that list of responsibilities, it should be pretty clear that without poll workers, elections don't happen. They don't work, and we absolutely need our polling places to have enough poll workers to actually function on election day. But we have a problem, which is that most poll workers are over the age of 60. In fact, 56% of our poll workers are over 60. And with COVID, understandably, a lot fewer people are signing up for the job this year because that is exactly the age population that is at the highest risk. Now, already over the past few months, we've seen some primary elections take place across the country where a shortage of poll workers has had really bad results. A few examples: Washington, D.C. lost 1,700 election workers in this round of primaries. In Georgia, many of us probably saw pictures and videos on the news of what happened when reduced and understaffed primary polling locations caused lines that lasted for hours. So voters had to choose between waiting in line, maybe missing work, or going home and being disenfranchised, not having their voices heard. In Anchorage, Alaska, 95% of past poll workers declined to return to the polls this year. And in Kentucky, a shortage of poll workers during the primaries forced them to consolidate in-person voting places to 1 per county. All of these examples should make it pretty clear that without enough poll workers, polling places close, people have to wait for hours to vote, and it's not good for our democracy. So that was the primary season, and now we're heading into November, and we are facing a nationwide critical shortage of poll workers to staff the election. The experts are telling us that in-person polling locations will require up to 1 million election workers. And now we have less than 100 days to recruit these folks and train them to make sure that our polls are appropriately staffed so that we can minimize those long lines, so they can ensure that all the technology functions properly and efficiently. We know that some places are getting new technology that will be used for the first time. So we need people who are trained in it and can help make sure that it works. These folks are going to help our neighbors within communities across the country navigate issues when they're voting and prevent election administrators from closing polling places. This is our task. This is the problem that we're facing. Now, this video might be a little delayed, and I apologize if it's not the best quality, but I want to hand it over to someone who's great at quickly and clearly explaining complex issues in a way that's easy to understand.
America is facing a nationwide poll worker shortage. And it's because most poll workers are over 60, and with COVID still in the air, they are understandably not showing up. But fewer poll workers means fewer polling stations are going to be open, and it means longer lines that not everybody can afford to stay and wait in, especially people of color in working class areas. But the good news is, most poll working is paid, and in some states, you can be as young as 16 to do it. So if you're interested and you have the time to be a poll worker, and you have the time to increase the chances of your democracy succeeding, this is your chance to save granny, protect your democracy, and get paid. Sign up at the link below to learn more.
What Trevor said. So that's the problem, but it leads us into the next part, which is the solution. What are we going to do about this nationwide poll worker shortage? Well, that's the question that we were asked, and our answer was the Campus Compact Safe Elections Project. We believe that college students can play a critical role in protecting our election by stepping up to serve as poll workers and by educating their peers about this need. The Campus Compact Safe Elections Project this summer is going to enlist and train 300 students and recent graduates who will recruit their peers to serve as poll workers for this November's election. We at Campus Compact will train student recruiters to be effective digital organizers and educators about the importance of poll workers for our democracy. So I've used the term student recruiter a couple of times, and I want to be really clear about what I mean. Student recruiters are students or recent graduates of Campus Compact member institutions who are going to be equipped over the next couple of weeks to digitally recruit their fellow students and other young, healthy people to serve as poll workers this election day. Student recruiters will be paid a stipend of $500 from us at Campus Compact to do this work virtually over the course of 3 weeks. And that work includes educating peers, both among your campus community and within personal networks, about this current need for poll workers across the country, how other people can help, and where to sign up. Now, it's very important that we all understand COVID-19 is not going away anytime soon. We are in the midst of a global pandemic, and we want everyone to be safe. So all of the outreach that our student recruiters will be doing over the next month will be done digitally. And we're here to help. We're going to provide all of the training and resources and language that's necessary to help you mobilize your networks. So that brings us to Power the Polls. Now, Power the Polls is a fantastic initiative and tool to solve this national poll worker shortage. It's an initiative to recruit a new wave of poll workers, especially young and diverse populations of people who historically have not filled those roles, to ensure a safe, secure, healthy, and fair election for all voters. Sound familiar? It should. We share all of these values with Power the Polls, which is why we are so proud to be partnering with them. This is a really quick screenshot of the Power the Polls website, where our student recruiters are going to be sending their friends, family, and classmates who are interested in helping and stepping up. So it's a really quick sign-up form for folks who are interested in becoming poll workers. Now for the question of how this is going to work. How are student recruiters going to be able to register their peers as poll workers? Well, through our partnership with Power the Polls, we have created a custom URL. So these recruiters are going to be directing people to the website powerthepolls.org/campus to sign up for more information about becoming a poll worker locally. The training online that we're going to provide to all of our student recruiters will go into great detail about the types of recruitment activities that you might do. And so we won't get too in the weeds right now, but I wanted to share a few examples so you can get your mind thinking about the types of work you might do as a student recruiter. So first and foremost, using social media, sharing information on your various channels about the national poll worker shortage and directing people to register at that URL. We also encourage student recruiters to give a quick presentation in some of the online summer classes being taught through your institution. Reaching out to student organizations at your campus and getting their help in spreading the word. And organizing announcements on your school's social media pages, through student newsletters, and other publications that you know better than anyone actually reach the young people who we are trying to get to sign up. So once the student recruiters register, they make their plan and they conduct their outreach, they are getting people to sign up at powerthepolls.org/campus. Once a person does that, they will then be connected with their local elections office, who will provide all of the important information that they need to know about becoming a poll worker, confirm their eligibility, which varies state to state what's required, and get them officially registered. So in short, if you join us as a student recruiter, your job is to direct as many young, likely eligible people to that website, powerthepolls.org/campus, as possible. This summer, we at Campus Compact are aiming to recruit 6,000 or more new poll workers through this initiative. So we can't do it without your help. Now, I also want to talk quickly about who is eligible to become a student recruiter. I know if you're listening, you are probably all in, you are on board, this sounds great. So before you hit that apply button, here's a few things you should know. Student recruiters must, first and foremost, be a student or a recent graduate of a Campus Compact member institution. This is a benefit for the member colleges and universities within our network and their full communities. If you're not sure if your school is a member of Campus Compact, you can definitely send us an email and we'll be happy to verify that for you. My email is ebody@compact.org, and I think Lauren's gonna help put that in the chat so you have it. Student recruiters also must agree to abide by all relevant local, state, and federal laws. And importantly, they also must agree to act in a nonpartisan manner while recruiting as a Campus Compact student recruiter. We are a 501c3 organization, and poll working, while inherently political, is nonpartisan. It's going to take people from all political affiliations and belief systems to step up to make our elections work this year. So it's important that our student recruiters, while acting in an official capacity as a student recruiter, not endorse a specific candidate or political party, or target or exclude people because of their political leanings. We want to include everybody in this effort because it's going to take all of us to make it work. Some other things to be aware of about our student recruiter requirements. We ask all of the student recruiters to attend an online training. And to be clear, this informational webinar is not the same as the student recruiter training. So if you're here today as a student and you apply and join us as a student recruiter, you will have to come to another 1-hour webinar in the next couple of weeks to get you all the information that you need to get started. These trainings will cover the details of your responsibilities. It's going to go over the best practices in digital organizing, giving you really clear examples of what you can do, where you should start making your plans, and we'll provide the language and resources you need to help recruit a new wave of poll workers. We also ask that all of our student recruiters submit a recruitment plan, letting us know how you're gonna go about recruiting your peers and it will help you stay on track and remain accountable. We have set up a Slack workspace to keep us all informed. This will be a great place for you to stay up to date, communicate with your fellow recruiters to share best practices and tips, and we'll be posting new resources as we create them. Lastly, we ask that all recruiters submit a recruitment log at the end of their 3 weeks, documenting their efforts, and that way we can actually pay you that $500 stipend. So if you're still unsure, if you're still on the fence about whether or not you should sign up to be a student recruiter this summer, I just have a few questions. Do you have time over the next few weeks for 3 weeks of paid work where you will be at home virtually recruiting your peers to sign up as poll workers? Do you care about the future of our democracy? And do you understand the importance of free and fair elections? Then if the answers are yes, you should probably consider registering to become a student recruiter. As I said, the benefits include a $500 stipend upon completion of your recruitment work, the experience and training in digital organizing that can certainly help you beyond the scope of this project as you go off in the world or on campus to continue advocating for causes you believe in. And you'll have the benefit of protecting our democracy and helping to make our elections safe, healthy, and fair for all. If you ask me, those are some pretty solid benefits. Now, this is a question I feel like we're going to get asked a lot, so I wanted to be really clear. Is being a student recruiter the same thing as being a poll worker? No. The answer is no. By working as a student recruiter, you are not going to be automatically registered to serve as a poll worker or vice versa. So to clarify the difference, student recruiters are hired and paid by Campus Compact to recruit their peers to register as poll workers. And they'll be doing this work over the course of summer 2020, so basically over the next month. Poll workers, on the other hand, are hired and in most places paid by their local elections office to staff a polling location on election day. So we absolutely encourage our student recruiters who are able to also sign up to serve as poll workers at that website, powerthepolls.org/campus. But this is not a requirement to be a student recruiter. And if you are hired and brought on to be a student recruiter, it doesn't necessarily mean that you are eligible or will be hired to serve as a poll worker or vice versa. So those are two distinct roles, both very, very important, but wanted to make sure to cover the difference. So next steps. If you have been listening for the past few minutes and you are ready to apply to become a student recruiter, please visit compact.org/pollworkers. You can fill out the application form that's embedded in the website, and within the next couple of days of receiving your application, we'll be able to let you know our decision and get you started. For more information about Power the Polls, or to sign up yourself to be a poll worker, you can visit powerthepolls.org/campus. And if you want some more information about what it takes to become a poll worker in your area, what the requirements are, if it's paid, you can go to workelections.com and search for your city or town. They have almost every precinct listed there, so you'll be able to find out the local information and see the contact info for your local elections office. So you can even call or shoot them an email with any questions you may have. And with that, I want to open it up for some questions. I know we went through that pretty quickly, so hopefully I've left you plenty of time. So Lauren, do we have any questions from our audience?
Hi there. No, we don't have any questions as of yet. But I do want to, yeah, take this time to open the floor to anyone that wants to use the function that we have here at the bottom of the screen. Oh, we have one right now. It says, do I have to be in work study to be eligible to apply as a student recruiter?
That is a fantastic question. No, you do not have to be in work study. This is a totally separate type of work experience that is run through Campus Compact. Great question. Any other questions from our audience?
We have an, so how does working remotely exactly work? I guess maybe in terms of the scheduling or perhaps just kind of what the expectations would be for them.
Absolutely. You cut out just a bit there at the beginning, Lauren. So was the question, how does the working remotely work?
Yes, how does it work exactly?
Great question. So with this position, being a student recruiter, you have a lot of flexibility and control over your schedule. So like I said, you're going to receive a $500 stipend. So we wanted to make sure you weren't working too many hours with that amount of money coming in. So ideally, each student recruiter will work about 33 hours over the course of 3 weeks. And in creating your recruitment plan, you're going to lay out exactly what types of activities you want to do during that time and make your own schedule. So you won't have to report in or out to me or anyone else at Campus Compact to let us know when you're doing the work. But you will, of course, want to make sure if you are phone banking and calling alumni from your institution, for example, you're probably not going to want to do that at 10 o'clock at night. So you're going to want to look at your recruitment plan and make sure that it aligns with your availability during the 3 weeks that you're working. But as long as you have access to the internet and you've got some time on your hands over the month of August, you'll be able to work from home. And during the training, we'll give you all of the tools and resources you need to actually start that outreach. Does that answer your question?
I hope so. Oh, yes, yes. I just got another chat.
Awesome.
Do
we have any more questions?
The question that we have is, will we know which, oh, yes, we do. Can you hear me?
Now I can. I think we were a little delayed.
Okay. Sorry about that. The next question we have is, will we know which location will pay? And I'm not sure if this is referring to the student recruiters or for poll workers, because the answers to those questions.
Sure, you cut out again, but now I think I've got your question. So all of our student recruiters will be paid the $500 stipend for their 3 weeks of work. But if you're curious about whether or not you would be paid to serve as a poll worker, you would have to go to that website, which is workelections.com. And you can search for your city or town, and it will tell you the pay rate if that is a paid position. In most places, they do pay poll workers. It's only in a couple of locations across the country that I don't personally know off the top of my head where that's a volunteer role. But for the most part, you'll get paid a day's wages, and the rates do vary based on your state and city. Great question. Do we have any other questions from our audience? All right. Well, thank you again so much to everyone who joined us this afternoon. We are thrilled to have officially launched the Campus Compact Safe Elections Project. Like I said, this webinar has been recorded, so as quickly as we can, we will get it added to our website in case you came in late or just want to revisit some of your favorite parts. I know it was very exciting. I'm also available for questions if you think of anything after we hang up today. So my name is Emily Body. My email is ebody, that's BOTTIE, @compact.org. My email is also on our website under the Safe Elections Project. So thank you for taking the time to be here today. We're thrilled to have you as part of this journey and hope to see some of you soon as our student recruiters. Have a great rest of your day.